Gambit. Geyser with Gambit. How many of you have already used Geyser in the past? 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. So maybe you will know a little bit about what I will be talking about. The thing is, the Gambit feature for Geyser was not implemented, so I decided to implement it as Mr. Philippe made me discover Geyser. And it was a fun experience as I had to match eLisp functions with scheme functions and all this stuff. Working with Emacs eLisp was good too, but I will go deeper into this later. So I wanted to talk to you just before starting about also the fact that I think that Emacs is a great environment to write a scheme, because Emacs is what is made of eLisp, and Scheme is made of Lisp, and both are a deviation of Lisp. So this is a great place to work with it. What is Geyser? As you can see, Geyser is an Emacs environment to hack and have fun in Scheme. I wanted to talk to you also about a little bit of the inner processing of Geyser, so you can better understand what I had to implement, what I had to work with. So this one is Geyser. When you open Emacs, you open Geyser. Geyser will work with eLisp functions, so depending on what you will be doing, this will always send eLisp functions. Match it inside of the name of Geyser's design, Gambit30-Geiser, and connect these eLisp function calls inside of GSI being the Gambit scheme interpreter REPL, with the Geyser module that is inside of Gambit. But as of Gambit has been evolving in the last moments from a monolithic system to a more modularized one, I implemented an option. So depending on which version of Gambit you're using, the functions that I put it inside of this will decide whether to load the Geyser module for the GSI or to load the Gambit.scheme file inside of Geyser. So depending on if your Gambit version have access to modules or not, then it will work both ways, in both cases. What can you do with Geyser? This is a great question. First of all, you got form evaluations. So you can evaluate the code you make in real time, which is pretty handy when you're coding in Scheme or in whatever languages you would like always to be able to verify if what you wrote is what you thought you wrote, right? Also, there's a macro expansion. So you all know what is a macro? Yes? Sure. And when you write a lot of macros, maybe you don't remember all what all these macros are. With macro expansion, you will be able to get all of this in real time. Just type the right keybind. There's also the file loading and compilation. This one you can ask Geyser to load the file. The module, you cannot still load module directly from Geyser, but you can do it either way. And normally you can do the compilation, but this one will be available in a few weeks. There's also the identify completion. Here is where I written identify completion, but while you're coding, it will give you always completions that you can put for the functions you are writing. So a little bit like when you're coding with an IDE outside or other systems, it will give you, if you're writing CUR, and it will give you all the list of current input port, current output port, etc. This is pretty cool. It also works in the REPL. I will do a demo about it too. Autodoc, which is, I don't know if few of you already wrote inside of the eLisp mode with Emacs, but inside of the eLisp mode, when you write the eLisp functions, it will always gives you on the little buffer on the bottom of the Emacs screen Autodoc, which is in the which will tells you the name of the function you're currently using and which argument you are currently writing, which is pretty cool. You also have access to documentation. I decided that this one was not a priority for Gambit, Listings of colors, colors of procedures. So when you are writing procedures and you are executing them, then sometimes it will give you the colors of the procedures. And when you also evaluating a buffer. Rudimentary support for debugging. I don't have anything to say more about it. Other than I am actually working on a lot of cooler debugging stuff. Yeah, you probably see the Gambit30-Geiser that Mr. Fili did in the past. I would like this one to work with the debugging support of Geyser, which would be cool. Also, the support for multiple simultaneous repos. So you can open multiple repos at the same time and work with all of them, connect them to different buffers. What I want to do with this one? So, as I said, everything is very usable right now. When I say I want to put this, it isn't normally that the function doesn't work entirely. It is that I want to add add-ons to it. So this one, it would be nice to have the thread number. So this one, these are the functionalities that I will add in the future. The one of showing which thread is the one in the repo you are working with. So right now you can work with multiple repos, and in few weeks, few days maybe, you will also see the number of the thread that is represented by this repo. And also you can remote connect to the repo. So this one is the one that Mr. Fili talked to you about, the connection between Mimosa and what I was working on. So through the UART port, we were able with QEMU, because with a real computer, the clock, the baud rate and all this stuff made it a little harder. But we were able to connect to the repo inside of Mimosa directly from Emacs on my computer, which is nice. But you can also use this to connect to any repo anywhere in the world, depending if the port is open. So it is another thing that you can do with it, which is nice. So I didn't want this to show that. Okay. Functionalities help. So as you may know, as you have seen, there's a lot of functionalities, right? But all these functionalities, don't worry, you don't have to learn it all in your head at the instantly, because Emacs with Geyser gives you a great menu with links to the key bindings for you to learn at your own pace. Huh? Yeah. There is a menu bar, and if you don't have an that was what I was gonna come to. There is, if you are someone that hates menu bar, you can always type Ctrl-HM, and it will give you the help page of the mode, and with all these options and even more. So here I did a little demo of how to do it. So if you run Geyser, type Alt-X run Geyser, then start Geyser for scheme implementation. You will write Gambit. It will start the repo. Now you have Gambit repo, as you say, up and running. Higher there, you know, Geyser appeared, and if you click on it, then you've got all the list of the different things you can do. So I made it slow so I could explain at the same time. Maybe a little bit too slow now. But you can also type CHM, and it will give you the help page. About the form evaluation. Something cool with Geyser is that for the form evaluation, there is a lot of different ways you can evaluate the code you're writing. If you want to evaluate directly the S expression before your cursor, evaluating the S expression before your cursor, and then go to the repo directly. All these different ways to evaluate your code at the direct time you're coding it. You can do it with different functions which can, in a lot of times, makes your coding activity go faster. Also, I think that is pretty important in when you're coding or when you're doing whatever you do in life is all the nice details that doing it. So about Geyser, there's a lot of these details that I thought was nice and that you should know. the code indentation in the REPL. So when you are using GSI directly from the terminal, there is no code indentation after the first line. You have to do it manually, which takes a little time. But these are details, right? But details that comes handy and nice. So this, and you also have a lot of other things. But I will show you this inside the demo. The company mode compatibility. This one is pretty cool too, because it gives you when you're coding inside of your scheme file, it will gives you directly the list of all the different functions you can put, which is a detail, but a nice one too. Macro expansion, I already talked about it, and oh yeah, this one is very important, right? Someone that uses Emacs knows that full customization ability is mandatory. So it's the same with Geyser. There is a little place you can go, click on customize my Geyser mode, and then it gives you a whole list of different customizable variables that with descriptions to decide what do you want to customize with your Geyser, whether you want it to open directly some buffer or to open directly when you're using your scheme file some scheme implementation. Personally, I set Gambit. So fully customizable is important. So here it's not fully here I didn't want to fully customize. I wanted to talk about indentation in terminal versus indentation using Geyser. This is the indentation in terminal, and this is the indentation inside of Geyser REPL, which is both. Which are both. As you can see, this one it was indenting and also giving you the parentheses after the first line too, which was not the case there. And it works well, and it's beautiful, and there's great colors. We like that. And as I said, when I say it's fully customizable inside of Geyser, you can also decide which, if how many spaces you like for different functions. So if you like, for example, when you put define to have not 4 spaces or but 8 spaces or 12 spaces, then you can put it. Here's an example of macro expand. So for example, parameterize, which is Gambit's macro.
And balance parentheses.
But you're right. Oh, this is a good detail.
See what it
But
does.
even then, it gives you the expansion of the macro. But you're right. There's an unbalanced parenthesis. Shame on me.
I thought you were going to show us what it does with an unbalanced parenthesis, but it seems to have ignored it.
I copy-pasted this function. That's why I didn't see the unbalanced parenthesis. Then buffer evaluation. I did these GIFs, but I will show you a little demo to show it live to you, which is helpful with the GIF that I can explain in live while seeing what happens and pointing. So if there you didn't see it, but if there's a file I loaded named test.scheme, and if I type Control C, Control V, then down here it will give me the final result of the buffer. It will work with all the files, and if there's an error too, it will give you the debugger that you will be able to use to debug. Then there is remote connect. To connect to a distant REPL. Yeah, it's pretty obvious that it is what it does. First, you open a terminal using the Geyser module. The name of the Geyser module changed, but yeah, the thing is that you have to open a terminal. It is still the case. So you open the timer terminal, you open GSI using this command and the Geyser module. You have to open the Geyser module because if you don't, then there is no Geyser functions that you will be able to associate with the EDIS functions because you open the GSI manually. Geyser normally will open for you GSI with the correct comments, so this part is only for the remote connections. Then, now this is connected, you're inside of Geyser. You connect to the REPL. Now you do MX, Alt X, Geyser connect, which is a very simple command to remember. Enter. It asks you the scheme implementation. You put Gambit, obviously. Enter. It will ask you the host. I did it on my own computer, so localhost. I put it in my customizable variables 44555, but you will have to put the port manually. And now, boom, you're connected to this repo. And now, wait for it. Wait for it, it's coming. If you write test. Oh no, not test. Hello, Gambit. No, not Gambit. Hello, Gambit.con. I thought it was Gambit at 30. dièse, std out, tiret, port, fermeture de la parenthèse, enter. Oh! It works awesomely. Nice, right? I don't know why is the, maybe it's the bottom on the side. Okay, so coming soon with a great animation. As I told you, current thread identification in Geyser repo for multiple connections. Debugging system for multi-threading. This one I talked to you about it, but for multiple connections, yeah. Debugging system for multi-threading. Yeah. So what Mr. Philly would like and I would like too would be to arrange the system. So these both would be very useful together, as much with this one together. This tree will be a nice way to have an environment to debug multi-threading, and it is coming soon. So it will permit to have multiple threads of repo, have a GSI working at the same time, and if one is having a bug or something, then it will send a request of connection to Emacs, which will receive the connection and show you which thread number it gets, and this will. We would like it to work all together to have a nice multi-threading debugging environment. Right, Mr. Friedrich? I said it well?
Yeah, you said it well, yes.
Nice. Thank you. Also, this point is important too, so now that you know where's the repo and you can use it, then you can contribute too if you want, or if you have ideas of nice functionalities that you would like me to implement to add to Geyser. I love to work on it. That's why I decided to present you this project that I did this summer.
Yeah, it's useful.
It is useful. I think so. Unless IntelliJ decides to do an IDE for it. And, no, that's a joke. We don't work with this. We work with Emacs.
Maybe this is
Now, how to configure Geyser with Gambit for full functionalities? Here is just to show you how simple it can be to configure it, but if you want all the stuff inside, you can also do a more complicated one. I explained all the different ways to configure Geyser inside of the Gambit documentation. Also, I explain it inside of Geyser documentation. So you got two places to get how to configure it, and I would like to, since 1 week I tried to do a blog and then post a blog post inside of it explaining how to do so. But web servers are making me go mad till 1 a.m. If someone can help me with it. Until then, you use configure using, you know how to configure Gambit. You use the /configured and you put all the different things you want. And you add also enable alternative debug, which gives you all the, which gives Gambit a way to return you when you ask with a certain function. All the description of the functions inside of Gambit, but also the functions you wrote. That's why we're using it. So it gives us a lot of functionalities that are cool with Geyser. You can be sure to add GSI to your terminal path, because if you open Emacs and GSI is not in your terminal path, it will ask where is GSI. And you do package install Geyser, and then Geyser work. I think I saw you try it. No? Ah.
Okay. My own version of Slime.
Ah.
But it has like I use Geyser. I tried to use Geyser, but again I'm used to Slime from Common Lisp. And then eCraven has a port of Slime to RS or SendRS. And so then I added my own things, and now it's a Gambit version or a durable version of Slime. But I mean all the eList. That's what I'm not very good at. And so I'm looking at here to say, I'm going to steal his eList. Yeah. So. But yeah, I mean, exactly the same things, right? Remote access and all kind of stuff. It's just that Slime is for common list, for Geyser is for Steam.
Yeah, and Jo, the creator of Geyser, also tells inside of his manual that at first he was inspired by Slime.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I've used Slime for like 15 years now.
Oh boy!
It came out actually.
So these are the features that are coming soon. So these ones. So this is the sad thing. The external. Just I wanted to make it clear about which features are not implemented at the moment. So external documentation, a better debugging system. As I said, there's already one, but a better one is in process. Modules handling directly from Geyser for the new Gambit with his modules version, and compilation. But this one, these are all features that are coming soon. And as I said, still very usable. As I said, I encourage you to try it and to love it and to use it all day. So now let's do a demo. So this was Windows, but I used Linux. This was a virtual machine. So you open Emacs, then you realize it's white, it's black. You put it white. For your eyes. This one would be good. Alright. Okay. Now inside of Emacs, you can just okay. Now if you want to open Gambit inside of Emacs, inside of Geyser, you type Alt X. I will put it smaller so you can better see the commands I put here. So MX means Alt X. You put Run Geyser. Enter. Now it will ask me for which scheme implementation I want to use. Gambit. Sure enough. Enter. It will go take the GSI and then open the REPL here. As you can see, there is a REPL of Gambit. So now inside of the REPL, if you start coding, I type for example define foo A B C. Because of the actual mode, you don't see the difference of color between define and foo. But as you see down there, it shows you which function you're using with the different arguments you can put. Define 3 dot means you can put as much as your arguments as you want. For example, if you do a plus, well, plus 2, 2, 2, and if I want, for example, minus B, oh, C, D, and now, as you can see, it also gives the parenthesis matching. And then once you enter it, put it in bold, it tells you that it has been evaluated. Work indentation, auto completion. Also, if you're not sure about the function you want to put, for example, what is the current what? Well, 2 tabs. Oh, it gives you a buffer with the different function that you could choose. You can select them with your mouse, but it's not a great way. You can just continue typing, right? So if, for example, I type P and then tab, current processor has been written. And now watch. I got the function, I got the arguments. This one was not a good example as it doesn't have arguments. Enter. I will make it bigger. And also you can open multiple REPLs. So now there's 2 REPLs. And if you type run Geyser, run Geyser, run Geyser, there will be as much REPLs as you want. You can also use it to coding your scheme files. For example, shush. I will take again this test.scheme file. So as you can see, as I watch it, there's all the different functions and stuff. If I type Control C, Control B, there's a problem. There was a bug. So if I go watch the geyser debug, it tells me unbound variable A where it was here. So if I go back to my scheme file, I can just comment it because it's the way to debug a system, right? And you can evaluate again, and down there it gives you the result of the buffer for a moment. But if I wanted, I could have evaluated also simple things like this one. So as I forgot the key binding for evaluating just the S expression I'm in, evaluates S expression before point. Oh, this one was 4. And now I remember that S expression before point was Control X, Control E. Nice, right? Okay, also, I would like to show you in this part the what was it? I forgot the name of it. The company mode. So company mode is connected to Geyser. So if you put company mode, now if I type, for example, a function here, it gives me the possible function that I would like to put. The functions from Gambit. So you don't have to go see the documentations and all this stuff.
Is it scope aware?
Yes, yes it is. So this is a good question. So if, for example, I type now F, O, okay. Maybe foo is too small.
Oh,
This part, it's a demo. You know how this works. And that's it. Now I would like to show you the remote REPL connection if you want. So for the remote REPL connections, I'll put it here. This is recipe. Okay. Okay. Now if I open a terminal and I do GSI left 2.2R. Okay, this was not the GSI I wanted to do. GSI like that. Now I put the geyser module. I don't know if they put this one.
Underscore geyser.
Like that?
Underscore.
Yeah.
There's an underscore.
This
Almost
is
invisible.
Oh, there's an underscore.
Blame the phone.
no. Okay, no. So my version of Gambit is actually still using the Gambit/Geyser. So this one will open the Gambit/Geyser module, and as it is loaded, you can go here. I don't know why this is this one. I have a little. Okay, so if you do mx geyser connect localhost, because this is my computer 44555. As I said, I put it in the customization variables, and look, disconnected to this REPL. So now if you type, for example, right, test, STD output port.
No, it's PDL dashboard.
Then it sends information to the output there. Also for the customization variables, we can go there, customize. You can customize Geyser with all the functions from Geyser, but you can also customize all your implementations of Scheme. For example, if I call Geyser, you got all the different things you can customize inside of Geyser with all the information about it. So if you want to customize Geyser, then you type here. You get all the different variables you can customize. So what's your name of the binary, the colors, everything like that. Maybe everybody is now. So I hope this is what finish my demo about Geyser. I don't know if you would like to see other things or if you have questions. So this is it for Geyser with Gambit.